people, I finally managed to do it. I finally managed to watch 2 episodes of Velma in one sitting. And it actually made me physically sick. Right now, I am not feeling 100% at all after watching this god-awful show. Yeah. It refuses to ever make sense or get any better. So let's get into what this one has for this time around. Now, as we begin this, the first episode 5, we tend to find out that the genius idea they had last time to give all the hot girls police protection didn't work because the police officers have asked them to be taken off of it or resign because they are being sexually harassed by the girls. So, once again, you've managed to turn a bunch of teenage girls who are probably 15, 16 years old into a bunch of sluts who just want to jam and grind on police officers. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Velma comes to find out that Norville is in a relationship with Gigi. And no, let me just say this. Let me just be perfectly honest here. The only reason I could see that Norville and Gigi are in this relationship is because both of them are black. That's it. That's really the only reason I could see. They have nothing in common. They're not doing anything. They just literally ran into each other and boom, that was it. And why would you go about changing Gigi's look? She looked perfectly fine the way she was before, but now this time she looked like she's ran through a goth convention and come out mostly scathed. It doesn't make any sense. The way that they've redesigned her just does not look well at all. It's like they literally put this out there that, listen, when she was this hot girl, Norville didn't have a chance, couldn't be interested, whatever. But now that she's decided to change the way she look and go a little more goth-like, okay, she's dropped down to a level where he could probably get a chance. It's undermining, it's disturbing, and it's really stupid. And if I could just take a moment to talk about that series, My Dress Up Darling, one of the this is an anime, one of the main protagonists, Marin Kitagawa. She is this beautiful, attractive woman, but she's also one of the nicest people you will ever meet. The whole time she was with Gojo was the one who misinterpreted some things and whatever. But you get the final, she was such a nice person. It was built around her being such an interesting and cool person and their love for cosplay and all that other thing. Because, you know, they were shown that it doesn't matter how a person looks, it doesn't matter that, you know, it's their personality that matters. But if it comes to Velma, none of that makes any sense. They just throw any shit that they want and hoping it sticks. Now, as for Velma, the term Queen of the Narcissists would be perfectly suited to her here. All this time, she completely ignored Norville, had a problem with him expressing his love for all of these things, well, then he piloted for, didn't care. Now that he's in a relationship with Gigi, she's upset because why? He won't have time to be at her beck and call like some trained dog. That's pretty much it, you know. She's not jealous of him in a romantic way at all. No, she just wants him to be there for her whenever she wants because she is investigating this thing. She found out that her mother was investigating some mad scientist named Dr. Edna Perdue, thanks to Fred, who has also become a cock and is trying to win Velma's affection for some unknown reason because nothing about this girl would make anybody like her at all. Her personality is literal dog shit, but so they keep going. Understand me? So she's upset with that, and the sheriff implements some 9 o'clock curfew, so they cancel all these events. But in order to get Norville back under her control, she organizes some marching band sleepover at her house because her father and stepmother and baby have stayed at the hospital or something. They're at the hospital where the stepmother is having photo shoots dressed like George Jetson's wife. I don't know, it's stupid. So she organizes this marching band sleepover to get Norville there so she could have so she could literally train him back into being her dog. Gigi shows up and they have the worst fruit battle you've ever seen. I mean, would have been interested if either of them could actually play the fruits, you could hear some interesting music, but no, they're just blasting away some nonsense that doesn't seem to make any kind of sense. Meanwhile, Daphne finds out, goes to the Crystal Caves and meets some people in Captain Caveman outfits who tell her that they're her parents, but that they will only reveal to her when she's ready and finds out the truth about her real adoption. It's nobody gives a shit about that than anyway. So once again, Velma, narcissist that she is completely obsessed with doing her own thing and find out her own other than the other. Gigi ends up revealing to her that Norville's grandmother is Dr. Purdue, the same mad scientist who went crazy and all of this stuff. Some drama ensues with the sleepover where Velma apparently doesn't have any food in her house and the band geeks and them become ravenous monsters, so they have to go and get food for them. So they decide to take Daphne's mom's police car. Meanwhile, Daphne is trying to talk to Velma about what she's found about her parents, and she needs to talk to someone, needs her help with it. But again, like I say, Velma, giant narcissist bitch that she is, only concerned with her own stuff and doesn't care about anything else. But keep in mind, they do take time in this show to constantly push racial jokes and things, about white guys, Velma ranking on herself, all kind of stuff. You'll never hear anybody call Velma a toxic personality, though, because no, they were talking about toxic male personality. There's nothing like that anyway. So they borrow Daphne's mom's car, go out to get some food, and then Velma has this big revelation that apparently she's actually not a nice person, and Norville is. Don't take that to heart, because 10 seconds later, she completely forgets that. So the sheriff is driving around, and Velma decides to sacrifice herself so the others could escape. She goes out into the street and starts to taunt the sheriff, who then decides to hit her with his car. And I'm telling you honestly, that was the only moment in this entire god-awful mess that has been Velma's series where an actual tear came to my eye, because I was thinking, thank God somebody finally do it. We've all been thinking somebody just needs to run over and be done with it. Yes, but then 2 seconds later they completely ruined it once again, but still, that was the only moment. Velma gets thrown in jail where she meets Norville's parents, and apparently got arrested doing some kind of weird outdoor cosplay sex fetish kind of thing. I don't even know. So she meets us. So she blackmails the principal, who's Norville's mother, into telling her about her mother, and that's how they get out from there. And that nonsense. We get to the second episode now, and Principal Rogers tells Velma that her mother, Dr. Edna Purdue, and listen to how stupid this is. Apparently, she was this crazy one who had this idea about that, she could keep brains alive after they've left the body. So this army general recruits her for a project because he believes the greatest problems they had in the 60s was meddling kids. Apparently, kids would be meddling in affairs when we were down war and, social issues and all kind of thing. And they tried to send in undercover soldiers to infiltrate and do it, but that never worked. So what he wanted was for Dr. Purdue to take the brain out of a soldier and place it inside the head of a teenager. Don't keep in mind that you have to kill the teenager to do this, but apparently they were fine with that. And what was this twisted operation called? Special Covert Operation Brain Initiative, or Scooby. And what does Scooby do? As Velma puts it, well, apparently what they're doing is taking the beloved name of the the actual main star dog this whole thing is based off of, and shit all over that too. Yeah, that's it. So I had something that she was gonna reveal to Velma, but before she could do it, Velma has another hallucination which literally causes her heart to stop, so they have to give her a shot of adrenaline. And then it happens again, and give her another shot of adrenaline. But listen to this stupid, god-awful reason they give in this episode. As Velma puts it, her hallucinations that literally threaten to kill her are caused by the fact that her father doesn't believe that her mother was actually kidnapped. How in God's name that works, I don't know. They never explain it. They never try to say, well, okay, there's some way to make that go. No, they just tell you that you're supposed to accept it. So we get into the whole daddy issues thing here. Velma wants to spend time with her father in order to help overcome this. So of course they do the only bonding thing that they can, go to a strip club. Yeah. Meanwhile, Fred's father is trying to change him back because Fred apparently now only looks at inner beauty, which really is kind of stupid because they just keep flopping how much they dislike Fred, and they just keep doing this shit. Speaking of other daddy issues now, Norville discovers that his father is basically a cock, and that's where he learned it from. People just walk all over him and he's okay with that, so he decides he's going to go through some kind of rebellious state, which pretty much ends stupidly. Enough said about that. Meanwhile, Velma is trying to bond with her father, but that doesn't particularly end well when she finds out that her father is just using being with her as an excuse to go to work during his so-called paternity leave. You understand me? And there's even this part where Velma goes up onto the stage in the strip club and tries some kind of weird dance, and then two of the guys then literally keep telling her, keep her clothes on, don't take it off, keep her clothes on. Anybody's supposed to care about that. So after finding out that her father doesn't care about any of that nonsense, Velma goes back, finds out that her mother was researching Dr. Purdue's work, which has a secret lab underneath Fred's house. So she and Fred go looking underneath the house. They try to get in, some bricks collapse on them. Velma's father shows up, and while Velma's having yet another hallucination attack that could literally kill her, father finally comes to realize that the mother was actually kidnapped, and that cures it. Yeah, it's that stupid. Well, before I forget, even though it's very forgettable, Daphne gets to find out that her parents were a bunch of criminals known as the Crystal Cove mining gang or something like that, right? And apparently, when you get her to see who her mother is, but her father is this same escaped criminal who has been in the show since like the first episode. He was literally there when Norville went to sell his kidney, and then he was Fred's cellmate. So no big surprise there whatsoever. But it turns out now that they have just been using Daphne to have her as an insurance policy when they decide to get out of town. Before that could happen, however, Daphne's moms, Linda and Donna, show up and reveal that they knew all along that what Daphne was doing, and basically used their daughter to find these people. And then they try to play it off as this big heartwarming one, because heartwarming was a pretty shitty thing to do to your own child, honestly. That's the thing about it. Just another episode showing a bunch of daddy, mommy, crappy issues that nobody gives two flying flips about. Understand me? Meanwhile, Daphne's mom escapes through the sewers and is running, where she's confronted by possibly the psychopath who's been cutting out brains. At this point, it's pretty clear that whoever's doing this is either Velma's mom, Norville's grandmother, the same crazy general who started this, or pretty much nobody gives a shit at this point. Nobody. It's another waste of time. I'm going to rank these two episodes separately, yeah? Because for episode 5, I will give episode 5 a 1 out of 5. And it only gets a 1 out of 5 because the sheriff hit Velma with that car. That brought a momentary tear to my eye. Yes, they pissed all over that like 5 seconds later, but that was the only reason that happened. As for episode 6, half a mark out of 5. It really has, there's really no purpose to these episodes whatsoever other than to just show a bunch of distilled crap. All they have done with these 2 episodes is just enforce racism, show a bunch of narcissistic shit when it comes to Velma. She's literally the worst narcissistic bitch you could ever think of. And thirdly, show that, you know what? People have daddy, mommy, and all kind of different issues, but pretty much everybody in this series is just a bunch of awful, despicable wretches with nothing redeeming about them. Literally nothing. So that's it. That's the review for episode 5 and 6 of Velma. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.